back to The Daily Show. My guest tonight is a Republican lawmaker from Texas who represents more of the U.S.-Mexico border than any other member of Congress. Please welcome Congressman Will Hurd. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Let me ask you a question that is oftentimes the elephant in the room.
Sure, let's hear it.
As a black Republican. That's the question.
Yeah, there's not many of us.
Right.
There's not many
Why do you
of us.
think that is?
Look, I think that is because, look, my dad always says that he was a Republican from the first time Lincoln freed us, right? And
How old was your dad?
Exactly. He's 86. But we have to make sure that we're recruiting candidates, and a lot of times the Republican Party doesn't go into communities that could naturally identify with our philosophy and our beliefs.
Right.
However, if you don't show up to places, if you don't talk to people, if they don't trust you, then they're not going to listen to you. And that's what I try to change, and that's, you know, the district I actually represent is a 71% Latino district. It's 29 counties, 2 time zones, 820 miles of the border. It's larger than 26 states. And it's roughly the size of Georgia. And I go to places that Republicans have never shown up. And I think that's why I've been able to be successful.
When you look at the border wall, what's interesting about your record is that you're a Republican, but you voted against Donald Trump's national emergency border wall. Why? How does that make sense for you as a Republican?
Right. It makes sense for me as a Republican because I believe Congress was given the ultimate check and balance in government, and that's the power of the purse.
Right.
And Congress is the one that should be deciding how money is spent.
Do you think that it's a national emergency?
It's a major problem, but when you say national emergency, that gives the president powers to take money from other parts of the government to use it for something that he sees fit. And I don't believe we should be taking money from our bases. We've just rebuilt our military. We're making sure that the men and women that are keeping us safe have the proper facilities to train in, and you're taking money away from that in order to put it on something that I've said, building a wall from sea to shining sea is the most expensive and least effective way to do border security.
You've also voted the opposite way to Trump. I mean, you've said that you are pro DACA kids getting an opportunity to stay in the United States. You said you are pro the Dreamers.
Sure.
Why would you go against what Trump has said and what so many Republicans have said?
So the other thing with border security, we need to streamline immigration. When the economy is at 3.8, 3.9, 4% unemployment, what does that mean? That means whether you're in agriculture or artificial intelligence, you need workers. And the quickest way to do that is streamline our legal immigration system. If we do that, then we allow Border Patrol to focus on kingpin human smugglers and things like that. Oh, and by the way, we have to address root causes, which is in the Northern Triangle, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, addressing violence and lack of economic opportunities there. But when it comes to Dreamers, 1.2 million young men and women who have only known the United States of America as their home, they're already contributing to our economy, they're already contributing to our society, they are already Americans. Let's make sure we have a permanent legislative fix for them.
When you look at yourself within the Republican Party, do you find yourself being more centrist, or do you find that the Republican Party is more extreme than you are? Do you find some of it is more extreme? Where do you see yourself within the party itself?
So I always, when someone tries to put a label on it, you know, that always frustrates me because it's a myopic way of looking at the problem. The Republican Party, there's a lot of different kinds of Republicans. The things that you and I have talked about here, most people are like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Definitely.
When I go home, guess what? The folks that have been Republicans all their life, they agree with me, right? Democrats come up to me and whisper, I agree with you too, right? You know, and so there's a lot of people that are like me and believe my way, right? And so my point is why I come in and talk to folks like you and talk to groups that may not necessarily believe in the Republican Party to say, listen, there are some of us that are thoughtful. There are some of us that are actually trying to solve problems. There are some of us that believe in helping people move up that economic ladder. There are people that have been left out, and we need to make sure that we take care of them and that we give them a hand up. And so that's what I believe, and there's a lot of people that do believe my way, and we don't get enough opportunity to talk about it.
So if I understand what you're saying is you're saying some of them may be racist, some of them may be horrible people, but most, I assume, are good people.
Well,
I'm joking with you. Yo, man, can I be honest? Honestly, I appreciate you being on the show. I mean, like you say, we don't have to agree on everything, sure. But, I mean, as the audience hears, you make sense. You know, you are thoughtful in a lot of the things that you say, and I appreciate you coming out here. I joke with you,
right.
But I wish we could have more of these conversations from all sides. So thank you very much for being on the show.
Let's do that.
Appreciate you. Congressman Hurd, everybody. We'll be right back. Thank you so much. Thank you for real.